level for British ships in Iran's waters to critical. That's according to security sources, as London's relationship with Tehran continues to erode over the seizure of an Iranian oil tanker in the Strait of Gibraltar. Police in the British Overseas Territory have arrested the captain and chief officer of the ship, which is accused of violating EU oil sanctions on Syria. It's the latest move in a high-stakes back and forth between the UK and Iran. Gibraltar detained the tanker last week and Tehran had threatened to retaliate. Well, the British Navy reported Thursday that 3 Iranian boats have attempted to intercept a British tanker as it passed through the Strait of Hormuz, but Tehran denies there was any attempt to seize that ship. Chronis Kapalidis joined us with more on that dispute. He's a maritime security expert with the marine consultancy firm HudsonAnalytix. I asked him how this tanker standoff might impact negotiations on Iran's controversial nuclear control agreement.
I do believe that this is a very well orchestrated action by Iran, which more or less started about a year ago, when in one of his rare visits, President Rouhani to Europe, he did say that if there was an issue with the nuclear deal, then they would cause serious disruption to the flow of oil from the Gulf of Hormuz. And we have seen that this has been escalated starting in May this year, where we had 4 attacks. Then in June, we had 2 more major attacks. So this is more or less another episode within a very big series of events that are trying to not only persuade the European side to keep on the deal, but also to persuade the US, which is the major player in this discussion.
But 2 weeks ago, we saw Iran holding back on its enrichment, its uranium enrichment, in order to try and give time to the EU to help it out on the sanctions, on those US sanctions. When the EU failed to do that, then Iran started this escalation, which you could say it was responding to the US all along. Do you think we've come to the point now where Iran has given up on the nuclear deal, the 2015 deal?
I think Iran is trying to pull as many strings as it can. It tries to play all the diplomatic means available, but also try to use military tactics, what we can describe as hybrid tactics, in order to achieve its goals. Having said that, I think we're still a bit far from having a major escalation in the region with use of military forces.
Let's talk a little bit more about the sort of end game here. If this escalation continues, where do you think it leads? We've had the US calling for more military presence in the Strait of Hormuz. What do you think the logical conclusion is?
Like you said, we are seeing that there's increased military presence in the region from both sides. It seems that none of the two sides, none of the 2 major players, Iran and the US, or the European allies of the US in this case, are willing to escalate this to a full-scale war. But the more military presence that we have in the region, this may lead to an unwilling accident in the region that may have unprecedented consequences. So we need to be very cautious how we're moving forward without trying to lead this to a full-scale war.
That was the maritime security expert Chronis Kapalidis speaking to me earlier there. Well, officials